Hi friends, log on to my website fastbeam.com and talk to me on the forums. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram.
Hi guys, and welcome to another vlog. I am driving the Nissan Kicks, and you can see it gets the typical Nissan design language which I said in a lot of videos already. But chrome treatment over here. Now don't get confused. This is not the Kicks which is going to be launched in India. The one which is going to be launched in India is going to be bigger and with more features. Apparently it's going to get a 360-degree camera, which will make it the cheapest car in India to get a 360-degree camera, probably in the world as well. So as you can see, it's kind of compact, looks more like a jacked up hatchback, doesn't have the presence of say the Terrano. This one gets wheel caps, and there is this thing placed over here so nobody steals the wheel cap, or actually maybe so that it doesn't fall off. 4 lug nuts over here, and body cladding, black colored mirrors as well as door handles. So it's not really the top spec variant, and this is done for the floating roof treatment. As you can see, the design is kind of nice. Lights are beautiful at the rear, and I don't know what variant is it. 50 years it says, basically 50 years of Nissan in the Middle East probably. Overall design language is nice. Let's open the boot right away. People staring at me and wondering what am I doing with the camera on my head. Boot is really very big, spacious enough. Spare wheel obviously isn't an alloy. The main wheels are alloy, so how can you expect the spare wheel to be an alloy? Fire extinguisher over here, and these seats, well, 60-40 split. When you fold them, it increases the boot capacity massively. So as you can see, there is the fog lamp placed over here, and overall design could have been more sizable. Let's quickly get into the rear seat of the car. So decent amount of space here, and all 3 headrests are adjustable, scooped out seat back along with magazine holders. Actually the rear space is decent enough. Legroom is decent, knee room is good enough, under thigh support is decent, not the best, and headroom is also good enough in this car. Now there's a light placed over here, and the windows are decent size. They're large enough so it won't offer the claustrophobic feeling inside this cabin. The floor isn't completely flat, slight hump over here, but wouldn't hinder for a middle passenger. Space to keep stuff over here. And yes, the overall cabin does feel nice. All black treatment for that sporty feel. Let me quickly get into the driver's seat of this car right away. So here we are. Let me push this seat back. All right, steering feels nice to hold, and these are the controls for the audio, and the horn is not the best. These are the controls for the power window switches. These are for the outside rear view mirror adjustment. This is the traction control button, and this button is to toggle through the multi-information display, which shows you a lot of things like time, trip meter, as well as real-time efficiency. It says 12.4 kilometers per liter, and a distance to empty is there as well below, and the odometer is also placed below. There's a fuel meter over here, and gear position indicator along with a tachometer on the left side, a speedometer on the right side, and this is the button to actually go through the twin trip meters. Now this is the control for the wipers. They do a good job of cleaning the windscreen, and these are the controls for the headlights. Now let me turn off the air conditioning. Doesn't get climate control air conditioning. This is the gear lever, and there are twin cup holders here. Front seats are quite comfortable, and the glove box is also very large. Build quality feels nice and well put together. I like the dashboard design of this car. It feels nice, and although this one is a lower trim, doesn't get a touchscreen. The one which is going to be launched in India will obviously get a touchscreen infotainment system. Now this is the key of the car, different from the Nissans we have seen in the Indian market. Looks nice for sure. Let me turn on the car. Yes, it's very refined and silent when you turn it on. There's a 12-volt charging socket over here. There's an aux as well as a USB plug over here. Space to keep your stuff here like the phone. And let me get into reverse. So yeah, no reverse parking camera on offer on this particular car. Overall, the car does feel nice with 3 lights over here at the front. No auto dimming inside rear view mirror. Over here we get a mirror, and over here also we get a mirror. But the cabin does feel nice and big and large, gives a good view of what's around. Because of the large glass area, doesn't feel claustrophobic at all. Now as you can see, it is a very comfortable car, and definitely when launched in India will attract a lot of people. But the crucial question is, will it be able to beat the Creta? I feel it can give a tough competition to the Creta, considering Nissan is going to work on the Kicks to make it more appealing with a lot more features than its rivals. So that's something to look out for. Overall, I'm quite impressed by the design, especially the interiors. I mean, yes, the Indian model will get more features and obviously a touchscreen system, but overall feel of the cabin does feel nice and premium. And when you compare to the Terrano, this is actually 2 steps up. But how is it to drive? Well, let's get going. So right now I'm driving the Nissan Kicks, and as you can see, performance is punchy. This car is powered by a 1.6 liter engine, which obviously will not make it to Indian shores. Instead, we'll get the 1.5 liter engine, which produces 110 horsepower. Now this 1.6 produces 118 horsepower. Feels quite punchy to drive. There's good amount of low end punch, and it does make the right noises past 4000 rpm. So yes, the noise creeps in at 4000 rpm. Otherwise, it's very refined low down and feels splendid to drive. Good amount of low end punch. Mid range is also strong, and being a Japanese engine, it also screams to the red line. Now obviously I don't know what Nissan likes to call its petrol engine, so I don't know what kicks in you, but yes, performance is strong and linear as expected. And overall feel of driving this car is quite positive too. In India, obviously they should bring in the 1.6 liter engine, but it doesn't get tax benefits, so it makes no sense at all. But that said, obviously it is a 1.5 liter diesel engine which is going to be the top seller in the Indian market, and we have already seen it do a fantastic job because it powers a slew of Renault and Nissan cars. The 1.5 liter DCI unit in its latest iteration offers good amount of low end punch. The drivability is great, turbo lag is well contained, but only thing is it's too short geared as such. However, this engine is good enough as well, but there's no point of me actually talking much about this motor because this is not going to make it to Indian shores. What I can tell you is that the latest Xtronic gearbox, the CVT gearbox, is well calibrated, doesn't have as much rubber band effect as you would expect, and overall it does feel nice to drive. Now it's returning a mileage of 9.6 kilometers per liter right now. Obviously the car has been kept on all the time with air conditioning to cool it. Otherwise it should return a mileage of 12 to 13 kilometers per liter in the real world. Now there's no way to manually take control of things. Yes, there's a L mode. Basically it's going to rev more. There it goes revving, and it's stuck at 4,500 rpm, but for the most part of it the engine is great. Yeah, it does sound nice actually. So the thing is that this car is underpinned by the Micra platform. The one which is going to come to India is going to be pinned by another platform altogether, because Nissan is going to borrow a lot of things like the floor pan and the suspension from the Juke, which obviously is a fantastic car in terms of ride and handling balance. As you can see, this steering is light and it doesn't weigh up well at higher speeds, and the ride also feels slightly stiff, not on Dubai roads obviously because they're extremely smooth, but the ride does feel a bit stiff and isn't the best, and there's some amount of body roll as well. However, the Juke platform will totally transform the way this car drives, and that's something to look out for. Now Nissan is also going to work a lot on the interiors, give it much more features. It's going to work on the exteriors, make it look much more appealing with a bolder design. In fact, it's also touted to get a full LCD display for the instrument cluster on the top spec trim. That's a lot of features. Now Nissan is also planning to borrow a lot of other elements from the Juke, which will surely up the appeal of the Kicks. And I honestly feel they should launch the Patrol in India. It will work as a brilliant brand builder. Now it won't sell because the engine is massive and it's not going to give any sort of fuel efficiency. So the Nissan Kicks is a good city car, and honestly I can't really come up with the big judgment right now, considering that the Indian model will be drastically different and much better as well with more road presence. In fact, I kid you not, Nissan is planning to borrow some elements from Infiniti as well to up the premium appeal of the Kicks. Well, they're throwing everything at it to make sure that the Kicks becomes a success. Now hard onto the throttle. Every time I get onto the throttle, I just hate the automatic gearbox because I want to manually control things, and I cannot manually control anything in this vehicle because obviously there are no paddle shifters on offer. There's no manual mode. You can't slot right, left, or any of that sort either. So guys, this is my review of the Nissan Kicks, and if you liked it, you know what you have to do. Give it the thumbs up. That's the like button, and also subscribe to the channel. I'm sweating like crazy because the air conditioning is off, so it doesn't interfere with the audio. I will see you guys in the next video real soon. Bye.